So, what are complementary colours? Well, if they're a complementary colour, it doesn't mean they're colours that are nice to each other, but it means that the colours that go nicely together. And the way that we know what complementary colours are is by looking at the colour wheel. Here's an example of the colour wheel. It's made up of yellow, red and blue, which we call our primary colours. Red, yellow and blue. All other colours can be made from mixing these colours together. They're called secondary colours. And together they make up all the colours in our colour wheel or colour spectrum. Now, when we're talking about complementary colours, we're always thinking about the colour that's opposite on our wheel. If we're creating a monster that's green, our background should be red. If our monster is yellow, our background should be purple. Or if we're creating a blue monster, the background should be orange or vice versa. Let's get started. We need our piece of paper in our landscape mode. Then, roughly halfway down, draw a curve like a mountain or a hill that curves up to the centre of your page and down on the other side. Then with a black dark marker pen, give yourself a clear outline. You can always rub out the pencil line underneath. Next, you need to decide on the type of eyes your monster is going to have. Is it going to have large, round, circular eyes or big egg oval shaped eyes? Is your monster going to have one eye? Is it going to have two eyes or three or maybe even four eyes? It's entirely up to you. Are they all going to be the same size or different? For this monster, I've decided to draw two pointy horns on the top of his head and given a little bit more detail by drawing curved lines or stripes going up to the very top. Now you need to decide what type of mouth your monster is going to have. I've decided to do a wavy mouth to give an expression on this monster, but he could be a zigzag mouth. You could do a big large mouth. What type of line would you draw? If you want to create another monster, just repeat the same pattern. Find halfway down your line, draw a nice curved line going up to the top of the page. And this time I thought I'd do something different. So I created two curved horns that look like two little crescent moons or half moons curving round. This time instead of three eyes, I thought I'd do two eyes. I've done one eye bigger than the other. And again, I need to think about a type of mouth. So instead of a wavy line like I did last time, I've just done a gentle curvy line. I've given my monster some teeth this time. Are your teeth going to be sharp? Or are they going to be square teeth like I've done here? I was so full of ideas, I had another go. Creating my curved picture again, about halfway down the page. And this time I decided to have one really big round eye in the centre. A kind of cyclops monster. I've drawn horns on the last two monsters, so for this one I thought I'd try and do something a little bit different. After I'd outlined the pencil line again with my black crayon or black marker and coloured in the pupil, I thought about giving my monster maybe a couple of antennae, a bit like an alien. Two small eyes as well. It's really up to you how you want to design your creature. I then gave him some spikes, a bit like a dinosaur. And rather than a curvy line or a wiggly line, I gave him a really clear smile. As I created three different types of monster, I thought I'd colour them in three different ways. Using the colour wheel, I picked my favourite colour to start off with and decided to colour him in purple. Then looking at the colour wheel, I travelled over to see what colour would be a complementary colour for my background. Remember, there's a copy of the colour wheel at the start of this video if you needed to remember what it looked like, but also there is a copy on our website. I've coloured him really carefully and then looked at my colour wheel to think of a colour that was on the other side of the wheel. So the other side of the wheel from purple is the yellowy greeny colours, so I've chosen a nice bright green. I used marker pen for my first monster. For my second monster, I thought I'd use crayon. Remember, you can use what you have at home. it's nice to try using different things. Now, when colouring in with crayon, you'll notice if you use your crayon during your self-portrait that the harder you press, the brighter or darker your colour appears. So you'll see here where I shaded all of the colour in blue, but you can see where I pressed slightly harder to make a darker blue. So be careful how you use these crayons. And once that creature was done, I moved on to my third one and thought, let's try again another way of colouring in, so I used some watercolour paints. If you're using watercolours, make sure you have a nice pot of clear water to be able to wash your brush out very carefully every time you change colour. For my monster though, because so much of him is going to be one colour, I used lots of water on my brush to really get lots of paint and red paint on my brush, and washed him out thoroughly before I painted the background a nice green colour. And there we are, 3 different monsters coloured in 3 different ways.